Guys, it's Courtney from Courtney Abroad. Just checking in with my third month review and ramble video. I'm actually filming this from a hotel in Dodoma. The power's out right now, so I apologize if the video is a little bit dark, but a few of us came into town for some banking and business days and just a little bit of decompression from our first couple weeks at site. The past 30 days have been really, they've been challenging, but they've been fulfilling and kind of a roller coaster, but everything is always on the up and up. You just have to trust the system, I guess. But as of April 17th, we are all officially Peace Corps volunteers. So the trial is over. The past 3 months have all been training us for this moment, and we all made it. Our whole cohort made it, actually, which is pretty incredible. Nobody has tapped out yet, and everybody's been going pretty strong. You know, we've all had our challenges, but everybody's landed on their feet for the most part, except for Tom. He shout out to Tom. He broke his foot, so he's hanging in there pretty well though. Installation. So after you swear in, you get installed like to your site the next day, which is just there's a term that we have here called chuggala-buggala, which is just organized chaos or disorganized chaos, depending on how you view it. But you go into town and you get like all the stuff that you need for your site, like your bed, your mattress, and all this stuff. And we don't have any like modes of transportation like we do in the States. We have like bajajis, which is like, I don't know, like picture like a 3-legged golf cart. We have dala-dalas, which is kind of like a minivan or like a minibus with a bunch of people on it. And so it's like, how am I gonna get all of my stuff on this little mystery machine? Because with me and all my crap, there's no more room for Scooby and the gang. And but you just have to trust the system. It really does work. I put my bed and my mattress on the dala-dala, and I don't know how they got there, but they got there. And then my friend Washi from my village was so kind and actually lent me her car. So they came and picked me up, and I was able to like put buckets and stuff in there. And it was stressful, but it was, once you actually get inside your house, you're like, okay, like I had nothing to worry about. I got here just fine. But it was a roller coaster. It was fun. It's an experience that you use to better yourself with, I guess. Let's see, what else did we do after that? We went to immigration and registered and sent them all of our documents, so they know that we're here. A lot of them is just like kind of courtesy visits, like just checking in and being like, hey, I'm a guest in your country, how do you do? So we got to see a little bit more of our area that way, at least, and get a better picture of where we're located and who's around in case you do have an emergency. Let's see. My house is really cool. I replaced a volunteer. So when he left me a table, a gas Chico, which is like a gas burner. It's like a propane tank with like a little rim on it so I can cook stuff. And some like random tools and stuff, which have been really useful. The house itself just needed like a few minor repairs, but for the most part it was ready to move into. But there was the windows like needed like extra mosquito netting or something to comply with like Peace Corps regulation for our houses. And here, like the way they construct houses, they mix sand like with cement. So I joke that I live in a gingerbread house, but it's kind of not really a joke. It's just about a gingerbread house. Because when my community came over to nail the screens on the outside of the windows, they started to collapse to the inside of the house. So I came back and everything was covered in dust, and my kitchen window was like, with my little notepad again. So here's like the wall, right? And the window was like kind of coming in like this, and I was like, well, at least I have a skylight now. So they were gonna come back and fix it, but then it started raining. So it was raining for like 5 days, and you just have to keep a positive attitude with this kind of stuff. Like it's not the end of the world. And to me, it was very entertaining because I have 3 cats now. I'll get to them in a minute. but I would literally sit in my kitchen and leave the light on, so like the bugs would come in through the windows, and my cat would like sit by the window and attack the bugs as they came through the door, and that was kept me entertained for a few hours. It's I joke that it was the closest thing that I'll get to watching a UFC fight for a while. Cat versus bug, 227 or whatever. But it was all good. And then they came over to fix it for me. So my neighbors are the ones who've been helping me, and they are absolutely incredible. One of them, her name is Mama Gloria. I'm not sure what her husband's name is. He just refers to himself as Baba. It's what I call him. And literally, if I have any kind of problem in the world, like, they're on it like that. And so Baba came over to cement my window after the rain stopped. And he's fixing it, and the cats are running around, and I have my doors open. So some people from the community came by to just say hello and greet themselves and, introduce themselves and come in. And they were really like excited and kind of like curious about my workout equipment, because I've hung TRX straps from my burglar bars, and I have like bands and stuff hanging on the walls, and they're like, what is this stuff? And so I did a demo with the TRX straps, and like the mamas just like lost their minds. They're like, what? Like this? So they were laughing and trying to do rows and push-ups, and the kids were into it. And I was like, like if you want to work out, like carry boo my house anytime. Which I didn't think they would come back, but they did, and which was amazing. That's really what I wanted to do. Even before coming to Tanzania, I'm like, I really want to do something with fitness because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I'm talented at. I just hope that the community accepts it well, and they're actually like asking for it, which is just, to me, a godsend, and like maybe part of his plan. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is that some mama showed up to work out with me, and I was so excited. The next morning, I was getting ready to work out, and like 8 in the morning, and she came and knocked on the door, and she's like, "Am I gonna work out?" And so I was like, "Cool." So and she had her conga on, which is like the traditional wrap, and just bare feet. And so we did like TRX straps. I kind of like formatted the workout a little bit differently to fit her needs, because she's never worked out before. Like, they live a very fit lifestyle in Myville, because it's very agriculture based. They're carrying stuff, they're constantly walking, but they haven't had like a formal workout. So just did like some stuff to kind of build body awareness, but also some exciting things to keep her interested. And so she left, and she's like, tomorrow I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back in tights or pants so I can do the same exercises you do. I was like, wow, like cool. So she left, and then I was gonna work out, finish my workout, and different mama came by, and I was like, this is amazing. So it was a lot of fun. So I'm excited to see where that takes me down the road. Let's see, I just have my notes here. Don't mind me looking down. I'm not ignoring y'all. Mnase itself, it's a village. It's like 5,000 people, but it's super tiny. It's just like spread out. So one of the doctors from the Zainati, which Zainati means health clinic, by the way, we went on this hike up the mountain so I could get like a better perspective of the layout. So he went up there with me, and then which if you're friends with me on Facebook, it's like all my posts are up there. But if you're not my friend on Facebook, just add me, and then you can have access to those pictures. But it was beautiful, first of all, and it was really nice to just kind of like get some outdoor exercise and walk around. And so we hiked up one mountain for perspective, and then there was another one, and we're like, what the hell? We'll just go up that one too. So it was really fun. Let's see. Okay, so the next part, I'm going to go through just some Q&A, because I've had a lot of questions from family and friends that have been repetitive. So I'm just going to do a Q&A section, and in the future, I'm going to add this into my videos as well. So feel free to message me if you have any questions. So the first one was, what are you eating in Village? The answer is not much. A lot of rice and beans. we've also been like coming into town, and like it's liberating to cook for yourself. I loved cooking for myself in the States, but it's just kind of like, adapt and overcome, because just the availability of things is different here. So in my village itself, I have access to tomatoes and onions pretty regularly. Any other type of produce is really variable. It just depends on who's open, what they have, and because they go to town and they bring it back and sell it. And I can get rice and beans too, but I'm really trying not to eat rice and beans. So for breakfast, I usually cook myself oatmeal. I buy that in town, and I put powdered milk in there and some peanut butter. And what else? I don't know. I found some pumpkin seeds. I try to like make it as protein dense as I can, because it's like that's the biggest struggle is for me anyway, is protein. But I found lentils in town, so I brought those back and I cooked them. Popcorn on the stove. Thank you, Mom, first of all, for making popcorn on the stove when I was little, because I can cook it for myself at site. So, oh, and degas. So these little fish, they're like French fried minnows. Like I'll try to add a picture in here somehow, but those are what I feed my cats, and then I also use those for protein too. And they're not that bad actually. If you like wash them and take the heads off, they're not like as fishy, but they're okay, and they keep pretty well. So like life without a fridge, you kind of have to find stuff that's shelf-stable, and I can get a lot of those for really cheap. So eggs are kind of variable. There's a lot of guinea hens, and there's chickens everywhere, but no one sells chicken, like real chicken eggs. So like the guinea hen eggs are what I usually have available to me. Okay, second question. What am I doing now? So after installation, you have 3 months at site, and that's like your early service period. So in August, we're going to have an early service training where all the PCVs come back and we go through another training. So the first 3 months at site, you're not allowed to start any projects whatsoever, because you're really focusing on improving your Swahili, integrating yourself with a community, and focusing on like what the needs are in the first place. So you have to do this like CEP, like community entry passport, and really just trying to triangulate the information of what the needs are and fill in the gaps from there. And you can do like small stuff. You can do like hand washing demos, cooking demos, and like education. So you can do like small activities like that, but really it's just you walk out and you hoodie people, which is knocking on doors and just kind of introducing yourself and making yourself familiar with people in the community. I was fortunate enough that the volunteer I replaced had an excellent rapport with everybody in the community, so they knew him really well, and they're like, oh, like you're Michael's friend, cool. So like they kind of instantly trust me because of how much they trusted him, which gives me a huge boost as far as programs will go in the future. And also I have a tribal name now, so like they know me by Wendo, which helps me with two things. One, cultural integration, because it's a Kigogo name. It means love or loveness, one who loves. And then in Swahili it would be upendo, English would be loveness. But they're awesome. I have a really, really good community, and they're already excited about things that I'll be doing. And so yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And home improvements. I'm just trying to like make my house a home, and trying to close that gap of feeling like a guest as quick as I can. I'm making a little gym for myself, which has been awesome. That's probably been like the biggest godsend, especially when it rains, because when it rains, the day is canceled. Like no one's out. You just have to like find shit to do on your own time. Okay. Next question. Does anyone speak English? Yes and no. So my VEO speaks some English, my village executive officer. My friend Washi speaks perfect English, so I kind of use her as like a really good resource, especially because she knows everybody. She's the community development officer too, so she's awesome. Um, One of the doctors from the Zionati speaks relatively good English, and like the gaps we can kind of fill in. So that's three people. And then some people in the village know some words and phrases, but for the most part, everyone speaks Swahili or Kigogo. But that being said, just being at site like these past 2, 3 weeks, I feel like my Swahili skills have gone from here to here. And they like I know I don't speak that well. As far as I'm not fluent. I've been here for 3 months. Give me a break. But I can order food. I can transport myself around the country by bus, bajaji, dala dala. I can explain to people what I need. I can I'm pretty self-sufficient in Swahili now. I think it's probably not the prettiest Swahili, but it gets the job done. And I'm also learning a lot too as I go along. I carry like a notebook with me, and if I don't know a word, I'll write it down. The app Word Hippo is really good, and it's just a learning experience. But it's amazing what you'll learn when you have to. So it's been really cool because I feel pretty sufficient in it at least. So let's see. Next question: how do you get water? So our town, Dodoma itself, is very, very dry, and Tanzania is a water-stressed country. So Dodoma, it's like it doesn't even really have a rainy season. Like most other regions in Tanzania will have like, one dry season, one wet season, 2 rainy seasons, 2 dry seasons, whatever. Like here, it's like it rains for like 2, 3 months out of the year, and then after that, you're kind of screwed. So we have 2 bombas or pumps, like water pumps, in our village, and one is actually closer to me than I thought it was, but I still have to like use a bike or something to get there because I was carrying water before I got my bike, and you can do it, but I'm not talented enough to carry it on my head, so I was just putting like 5-gallon jerry cans like on my shoulders, and like, man, this is for the birds. Like I can't. It was a lot. So I did get a bike, which helps immensely. My Baba had to fix the tire for me because when I put it on the Dala Dala, the front tire popped. And so I was transporting water for like 2 weeks on a flat tire. And then he came over and he's like, yeah, like that's a nice bike. And I was like, yeah, it's good. I said, I have to get another tire though. And just conversationally, I was talking to him about that. And he was like, what? Your tire's broken? Like grabs my bike, takes it away, fixes the tire for me, like on the spot, sends his grandson to go get water for me. Like just an amazing, amazing family. I'm so blessed to live next to them. They're really cool. And then I also have like a 22-gallon, no, it's not a 22-gallon, it's a 12-gallon bucket in my house. And so I try to keep that filled. And then my 2 yellow jerry cans are each 5 gallons. So total, I have 22 gallons of water at any given point. And then I try to fill up like any other bucket I have in my house. Like I have one with a spigot on it to try to keep that filled. And I try to go get water every like 2 days, whether I need it or not. Just because if I ever got sick or injured or anything like that and I couldn't go get water, like I don't want to like, I don't know. My comfort level in my house is like exactly like directly related with the water level in the bucket. That's just how it goes. So I try to keep it full. Do you have electricity or internet? Yes and no. So again, I was very blessed to replace a volunteer who did install electricity in half of the house. So I have 2 light bulbs. I have 1 light bulb in my bedroom and one light bulb in my kitchen. And then I have a plug in my bedroom. So I'm able to charge my phone and my laptop pretty well. And then, yeah, it works out pretty well, actually. And because I don't really need to go into the other rooms after dark anyways. Like, one's just my little gym. And the other one I just use for, like, kind of like a study or, like, storage. It's where all my water buckets are. So it works out pretty well. and then you just pay like on a meter. So I haven't had to pay for it yet because it was still like left over from when he was there. So we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I guess it's pretty simple. Internet. So my phone service is called Airtel, and it works sometimes. Like it's on E, which is Edge, and I can use WhatsApp. I can call my mom and dad. I can load Facebook pictures sometimes. Like if anybody sends me a picture, it takes me like 3 hours just to download it, and it uses a lot of data. If I hike up on top of the mountain, there's a baobab tree, and I sometimes will get 3G under the baobab tree. But that's really about it. If not, I have to go into Dodoma City to load this video and other videos, pictures. So I try to like you'll know when I'm in the city because it'll just be like bleep bleep bleep. Courtney's online. So yeah, but it works out pretty well. So I don't feel like I'm like missing out on much anyways. Like I go on Facebook and people don't really have very many interesting things to say anyways. Sorry guys. So once in a while. But I am reachable through WhatsApp. So if you do need to get a hold of me, that would be the best way. Yeah. Other than that, things have been pretty good. Just trying to, like I said, make my house a home, interact with my community, make some friends, trying to lay the groundwork for projects so that way once EST comes, we go through that training, we can just hit the ground running and hopefully start some projects from there. But in the meantime, just trying to find out like what the needs are and where we can fill in the gaps. Yeah, so I think that's about it. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. But other than that, we will see you next time.